Kyle Jackson's going to have one more dive. Does he have anything for him? He gets all the way to the bumper. To the stripe. It's Stephen Parker winning at Chicagoland. Almost ahead. To the stripe. It's Ogletree by 002. All right, everybody, welcome to Nashville Super Speedway for week 3 of the PSRA TrakRacer Truck Series. We've got an anomaly as we look at the starting lineup. Brandon Hare and Dakota Nichols, the exact same lap time down to iRacing scoring thousandth of a second, a 30.605. So the front row is a dead heat. You ever seen anything like that before, Cameron?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it where it'll show it being tied in one area, but then you go to another and it's like a thousandth off. But I've never seen it everywhere you check where it's exactly the same. Crazy.
And then second row will be newcomer tonight, Jason Chrisman in the 54, Aaron Fontaine in the 13, Chris Ellis with a good qualifying attempt rolling off P5, Colin Lewis in 6th, last week's winner, Stephen Parker in 7th, week 1 winner, Jared Ogletree in 8th, newcomer this week, Aiden Lunn in the 66, and then Jackson Wade will round out your top 10. Tonight's race, 150 miles, that's 113 laps, with the stage coming at the completion of lap 28. Cameron, what do you expect to see tonight as a whole, but also out of our Tuss Ram Outlaw teammate Dakota Nichols, who starts on the front row?
Well, as a whole, I look for a good race. I think that these trucks can race pretty close here. Um, I think we'll see some pretty close, good racing, and I think out of that one truck, I think we'll see him try to jump out to the lead real early here. I know he's been real frustrated with not being able to get out early into the lead in our Premier Series races, so I expect him to try to make a move here on the start as we go green.
And he does. He works that outside, passing Brandon Hare clear off of 2.
Got the 46 car spinning back there. Do we get a
And we do have the yellow.
Yep.
I see Bridges,
Like,
Jim Jackson, and Dylan Hutchison involved. We'll see how involved they were as we get to a replay here. Oh,
oh,
that's pretty involved. Okay.
yeah, that was a lot more than I saw. Yeah, that's about every car from the back half of the field there.
Let's see if we can get a better look at Kyle Bridges, maybe. See what started it. If it was him. Oh yeah, it gets gonna
Like,
step out.
yeah, saw him get a little bit tight, maybe afraid to hit that wall being that far off the track, and in his
Oh,
attempt to save it off the wall, oh, yep, just cars trying to avoid the spinning 46 truck, and ooh, some real gnarly hits there. Going to be a lot of fast repairs taken early in the race here.
yeah, definitely the 95, the 25. 70 would see. He's got some solid nose damage, Jim does, as his rough start to the season continues. Riley Gosling making his first start involved. Kyle Kendall got a solid piece. Don't know what his plan is on the fast repair or not. Dylan Hutchison, I think, got the worst of it. He rolled pretty hard into that wreck. Oh. Yeah, that's unfortunate for a lot of trucks this early.
A lot of damage for that 95 truck, I believe that is.
Yeah.
Just unfortunate, nowhere to go with the spinning 46 truck, but back live, looks like tough start for the 18 of Brandon Hare, loses 2 spots from the starting spot on the pole.
Looks like Kendall and Jim both taking the time to repair it as opposed to using the fast repair.
And I think that's a smart move. If you think you can get it fixed in time, you don't have too much damage, to not have to use that one fast repair this early. You never know what's going to happen. And I know it's definitely bit me a couple times, accidentally taking that fast repair too early.
Yeah, Kendall, I would imagine, was more um, superficial side of the truck damage, where Jim could maybe have used it. That was we saw some solid nose damage on the front of that 70 truck.
It looks like they were both able to get pulled off of pit road, so we'll have to see whether or not they fixed all that damage or if they just didn't want to lose a lap.
Well, let's take a look. Yeah, Jim still got a decent amount, but does stay on the lead lap. Kendall a little bit of nose damage, same thing. His was worse on the right than I thought. But again, you save that fast repair. Who knows how badly you're going to need it later. Looks like Richard Moore took his fast repair, unless he wasn't as damaged as we thought. But getting ready to go back to green here.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it wouldn't have been a bad idea for Jim to just, depending on how much damage he had there, to just fix it all now. As early as it is in this race, we typically see a couple more cautions. He'd likely have been in this position to take the lucky dog, but not to be for so far.
As we roll back to the restart zone, it'll be Dakota Nichols in control, and he is gone in that number one Ram.
Yeah. He really knows how to get the jump on the restart zone. It's always fair, but he always has a healthy lead going into turn one.
Yeah, he has maximized that restart zone as Brandon Hare continues to free fall from on the pole to currently eighth in the Hornet's Nest. 3 wide bottom.
Absolutely. Just an unfortunate position on the track there. Gonna see where he can end up here. I know he's hoping for the long run. That's usually where his strength is. So just trying to get through these first couple laps without getting any damage and hoping we have a little bit of a run here.
Already down 7 spots, as opposed to Ogletree, who's up 3 to 5th, and Wade up 4 to 6th. Back to the front. Business as usual. Nichols rolls. He's led all 7 laps so far, or 6 laps. Working lap 7.
And just knowing Dakota, he's just doing just enough to keep that gap, but he's not trying to overdo his stuff, knowing that you really make your money on the second half of the run.
And this was a tough track. It looks like a mile and a half, where it's pretty open, but those turns are deceptively tight. A lot of braking here, even in these trucks.
Absolutely. And one thing I notice in my practice for tomorrow is that outside wall out of turn 4 it comes up on you pretty quick, and you got to make sure that you're timing their exit to where you don't have to lift, but you're not going to hit that wall. Looking to see a bunch of tire marks on that outside wall there tonight.
Yeah, fuel mileage looks to be in the 28 to 31 range tonight. Not accounting for cautions, so we'll keep an eye on the telemetry and check these fuel tanks as we run. That'll get us through the first stage. And again, it'll be the completion of lap 28. No caution. It will run green. Something new we're doing in this new league.
Yep, and on that note too, we do have the stages, but no stage cautions for ovals. We will have stage cautions for road courses, however, but there's just no full course cautions in those races. So the only caution will be the stage cautions for those ones.
It'll provide an interesting strategy point and a little bit of a reset. Some of those races can get strung out before they even get started. So
Absolutely, give some guys a little bit of track time to feel out the track without having their race ruined if they want to take it a little bit easier in the first couple laps.
Oh, well, wall hit. I don't know if that was Chrisman or Lewis or Fontaine, but somebody scraped the wall off of 4.
Absolutely. Everybody trying to see if they can kind of get in the grasp of Dakota here, but he's just pulling away in that one truck. See a little bit of jockeying for the third position between the 67 and the 51 truck or 54 truck.
54. The 67 has disappeared.
Uh-oh, that's
Colin
this will be
Lewis.
interesting with
There he
this will
is.
be interesting. Oh, there he is. All right. Lost a lot of time from disappearing there. That's gonna really hurt him with the draft and hurt the cars behind him not being able to draft off of him as well.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that as we roll on. But Ogletree takes advantage and takes that 4th spot from him.
Looks like we've got the 96 starting to come into the picture here. I know he probably didn't get the start that he wanted, but slowly working his way up the field. He's going to be methodical with these passes if when he gets there.
Yeah, I know he wasn't happy with his qualifying time. Started in 10th. It's lower than he would like to, I know.
Yep, absolutely. That's abnormal for that truck for sure.
Up front, it gets tighter. I would imagine this is Dakota taking care of that ram, but Aaron Fontaine with another good run. He's been sneaky consistent these first 2.25 races.
Absolutely. And you'll see, I think it's a combination of Dakota just taking it easy a little bit, but you also saw the couple of those second and third place trucks kind of brush that outside wall a little bit. You know that they're trying real hard to get up to Dakota here to try to make a pass. And you can see that just in the exit there, how wide the 13 truck had to take that compared to Dakota.
And that opens the door for, again, newcomer Jason Chrisman looking to the inside of Fontaine as they come across the stripe to complete lap 15. He's
Stay on the side.
there.
He's going
Oh,
for it.
that got tight. This should give
Really
Ogletree a
good.
run, I would think, here. Can Ogletree and Lewis do anything? Here comes Wade to the inside of Lewis looking for P5.
And you have to know Dakota loves seeing this on his rearview mirror.
Oh, what a move by Wade to shut the door on Lewis. And Ogletree works to the outside of Chrisman.
Ogletree always consistent. He might not be the most aggressive driver, but he's going to be there at the end.
And he just races so well. You know what you're getting when you're racing side by side with that 27.
Absolutely. Very consistent, very clean. Always nice to get to race him.
Wade works outside, thought about 3 wide middle. Thought better of it. Chrisman will fall back to 5th and now 6th behind Lewis. Aaron Fontaine is also joining the Dakota Nichols, enjoying what he's seeing in his mirror party as he's able to work back to the 1.
We'll have to see whether or not Jackson Wade's going to try to tuck in here if he's going to keep trying to move forward.
He looks pretty happy with that, like 1.5 second lane in 3 and 4.
Absolutely. He's
As he
making it
tags
work.
the wall. Doesn't look any worse for the wear, but can only do that so many times.
Absolutely. Got the 54 truck just not able to get that momentum off the corner that he's hoping for with the high lane there.
Would have to imagine he aggravated those tires that couple attempts at the 13, and you just gotta let them settle back down before you get back to work.
Looks like we've got Jackson Wade going for third here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of getting to work, that 96 working the outside might get caught up behind the 13 on exit, but he is able to pull even with Ogletree down the back.
They're probably looking to get clear into 3, but not quite yet.
Oh, Ogletree pushes up. You know he's going to roll out, and Wade will take the spot.
Oh! Wade just taps the wall and gets down into Jared.
And now Lewis blinking to his outside. That's trouble for Wade. Working lap 21. Again, the stage at the end of 28.
just see the 13 truck pulling away.
This has been a solid battle, third through sixth, the last 5-6 laps. And again, this is what Fontaine wants to see. He's looking at 9 points for P2 in the stage. Would go a long way for him.
It looks like we've got a decent battle for the last stage spot as well, with 10th, 11th, and 12th, all within a couple car lengths as well.
Yeah, right now that spot is Cody Williams. Boy, he could use some stage points. He's had a rough go of the first few weeks.
Absolutely. Definitely a bunch of drivers that really want to get back on the right foot in this race. I know we had a bunch of drivers that didn't get the finish they wanted last week.
Yeah, Daytona's going to Daytona, but Williams was involved in the first 3 cautions last week before crashing out on caution 3 after having to use his fast repair on lap 1. So he's had good qualifying runs and just unable to do anything with them after early incidents.
Starting to spread out a little bit up front as Wade makes his move up to P3 and starting to make a charge at the 13 truck.
So this is fun. The fuel tank is going to be, the caution's going to help. If we would have gone green, it would have been tight to the stage. We should be plenty good because again, this fuel progress bar doesn't account for cautions. No real way to do that. But so it's going to look a little bit tighter than it is accurate actually right now. But I do expect to see pit stops 2, maybe 3 laps after the stage ends here.
Absolutely. And you have to wonder if Dakota feels that if it's going to go green, you have to wonder if he feels that he can maybe pit early here. He doesn't care about points. Maybe see if he can get a jump on everybody else. But just knowing how much he's taking care of those tires, I can't imagine he feels the need to do so at this point in the race.
Now, I think if you're somebody wanting to get a jump, I think you look at a Chris Ellis, a Brandon Hare, who's at the back of the stage points, looking at maybe 2-3 points, and they improve their finish as opposed and surrender those 2 points.
Absolutely. And I mean, Brandon, with those 2 extra points for being on the pole, maybe sees it as being a little
Oh yeah, true. A
little
wash.
better of a gamble to
Yeah.
go ahead and to give away these 2 points here. Jared, you have to wonder if Jared has some Jared Ogletree. If he, or that's not Jared Ogletree, that's Chris Ellis. My bad. They look very similar. Their cars, teammates there. I thought Jared fell all the way back to 8th, but no, that's just Chris.
Like you said, very similar looking trucks, other than the make. Looks like we've got a battle. Yep, battle for third. Wade has gone through to second, so now it's Ogletree versus Fontaine for P3.
Have to wonder if Fontaine went through his tires a little bit too early or not. Starting to lose a little bit of time to 4th as well.
Yeah.
Or 5th.
As we come to complete lap 28, this is the stage. And it is Nichols, Wade. Ogletree does get third over Fontaine. Chrisman, Lewis, Parker, Hare, Ellis, and Williams. Looks like Kyle Allsbrook has had a moment. Yeah.
Well, on the front stretch here, we'll have to see if we need to have the caution come out. So far, he's still rolling.
I can't imagine
Looks like
he is, but
damage.
he's a lap
That's
down.
It
No,
looks like this happened a significant amount of time ago as he's rolling, but
let's see if we
it
can.
seems like there's some damage.
That is odd.
Absolutely, just stopped in the front stretch there for a significant amount of time.
That is
Wonder if it was
incredibly odd.
wonder if it's some equipment failure, perhaps, with his sim rig. We'll have to check in on that. Looks like he's rolling to
It
pit
looks like
road right
maybe because that right front is cooked all the way to the left on this replay, so I would imagine that was a technical failure for the 41 as he rolls down pit road. Getting to about pit stop time. Nichols rolls by. He's led all 31 so far. Jackson Wade and Jared Ogletree battling again, now 2.5 seconds back of Dakota.
Absolutely. And you have to think Dakota's going to, seeing all this battling going on behind him, unless he gets forced to pit road, he's going to stay out as long as he can. You see Wade successfully to find the spot for now.
Wall contact for the 96, and here comes the 27 again.
See if 27 can make this hard passer on the outside. Really high up off the track. We'll have to see if he gets a run off the corner. And
Doesn't look like it. I think he got a little too high in the middle of 1 and 2 there. I think he was setting up pretty nice, and then it got away from him.
Absolutely. Looks like he just maybe drove a little bit too deep into 1 as he makes another move out of 4. Ooh, we have a car down pit road. See if he can get it slowed down. Looks like he did. That's a benefit of how far in the commitment line is at this track.
Yeah, Chicagoland, I think, was it last season it was out, and then they rescanned it and brought it more to a normal. But like last season, it was out there. It caught you quick.
Absolutely.
See if we have any more takers this lap. So far, nothing.
I'd imagine that we'll see some guys start to come to pit road here soon, especially a guy like Wade or Ogletree here. Just seeing Dakota continue to stretch out the lead at a little over 3 seconds right now. And if Dakota doesn't see these couple guys behind him come down, he's going to stay out until he runs out.
Justin Sick, the next taker. He was the last car on the lead lap. The 96 and 27 still dicing down the front stretch. These two can't get away from each other this season.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to think that the 27 is going to make the first move here, would be my prediction. He's typically one that's going to get to his number and then immediately dive down to pit road, but we'll have to see. Another opportunity coming up here.
As it looks like nobody hits pit road again. So, big hit from Wade, and that's going to bring out a yellow almost certainly. There it is. Oh, unfortunate. What a great battle those two were having, and we watched it live. We had commented on Jackson and others tagging that wall out of 4, and that's what happened there. The wall.
Absolutely, I'll be interested to see the replay there, but looks like the 96 just got unlucky this time and hit the wall just too much comparatively to how he's been hitting it.
Yeah, just inside. Just had the truck inside as he tagged it, and doesn't take much.
And then the 27 just following him up there, kind of using him as a gauge on where the wall is, and as a result, they both go a little bit too high out of 4.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting here. That'll jumble up this field again, and really the big losers here are those couple cars that went to pit road already.
Yeah. Switch to the caution mode here on the pit box. So that's an unfortunate break for Jackson Wade, who goes from 2nd to 11th in his slide. Jim Jackson had just fallen a lap down, or a second lap down, so no benefit there for him. Looks like Kyle Bridge. Good. We'll have to see who gets the lucky dog situation. Richard
Kyle
Morrow
Bridges down pit road, so I'd imagine he didn't get the lucky dog.
Looks like Jim may
And that
have. He's rolling still away from the pace car.
very well could
He's
have been
catching
him
up
here.
though. Chrisman showing a lap down. He's gonna at least get a wave around since he just pitted. Same with Justin Sick and maybe Richard Moore, the lucky dog. Either
Very
way,
well could be. We'll figure that out here shortly, but do we maybe want to bring in Dakota here for a little mid-race recap so far?
yeah, let's bring in the driver, the number one test machine tonight.
All right, let's bring him in. Dakota, you are live on the PSRA TV. How you feeling so far in this race?
What up, boys? Feeling pretty good. I think Aaron was really giving me a run for about 20 there, but I think right now we're better on the tires through that far of a run. So we'll see, kind of see how things go from here. Maybe they pick up on some things, but as of right now, I really think we got the best truck here. So
It looked like it through that first run. How close were you to pitting before that yellow came out?
2.7. So I was coming in 2 more laps to go.
Okay, we, you know, our telemetry doesn't account for the caution, so we weren't sure how close everything was. But I knew we had started to see some trickle in, and didn't know if you were going to be early on the uptake or run it long and just not racing for points, trying to do the best for the race.
I was thinking about pitting early, but right now, I was actually, as soon as this caution came out, I told Brandon, I was like, man, we're right back on original pit schedule, lap 38. So, we'll probably try to maybe play it short. But we're kind of back on the tight schedule. We may have to save a little bit. So, we'll when we get there, we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks for the time. Get ready for this restart and good luck the rest of the way.
10-4. Thank you.
Good luck.
And pace car is back off as Dakota will bring us to the restart zone for the second time this evening. And that number one Smith and Sons construction Ram will fire off and check out yet again. Colin Lewis, the big winner on that cycle, was running fourth when Wade and Ogletree got together, and then through the pit cycle comes off for a second. I see hair sliding. Did everyone make it through other than Brandon spinning?
Looks like just Brandon that didn't make it through there. Oh, it was just Brandon self-spin there out of 2.
Unfortunate. Let's step back and take a look. Maybe wants to. There we go. Yeah, that cold tires off of 2. Great job by everyone to avoid the spinning 18.
Absolutely. I believe one car might have had a little piece of it, but able to continue on. I believe it was the 66 of Aiden
Lund in 6th place.
Yep. I was cutting off his last name there. Thanks for the assist. But yep, it looks like he's able to continue on.
Let's see if we can see if there's any damage on that nose. I don't see anything. So, again, we got pretty lucky there with one spinning in the middle of the pack and no damage done. Unfortunate for Brandon that no yellow, but...
Absolutely, and I'll verify here, make sure it was a 66. It could have been somebody else. I believe it was a 66. Oh, it was the 49 that was in that one. The 66 was right next to him.
Oh. Okay, so we'll check on Kyle Jackson then. If we can spot it.
66 was up high there, but did not have any contact. The 49 was the car that had the contact, but lost a couple positions on track, perhaps, but...
Little walls. It looks like the right side's got some scuffage, but that could be from wall damage too. Nothing crazy on the 49.
Absolutely. It looks like right now we've got Brandon Hare just now crossing the start-finish lines. So lost a little bit of time, but not too bad in terms of getting it going again. And just at this point, I think he's just hoping he gets to the next caution without losing a lap.
Well, we see the field tighten back up to Dakota, but We know Dakota has talked about being close to making it on one stop, so I would imagine this is equipment management from the one.
Absolutely. Just that the jump he got gave himself a little bit of a cushion to be able to take it a little bit slower here. Just let everybody else come to him while burning up their stuff. Excuse me.
We had Jim Jackson hit pit road a lap or so ago, served about a minute on pit road. I don't know if that's more damage fix or what, but Steven Parker, last week's winner, working up to the top three past Jared Ogletree. He's another one that's quiet. He takes care of his stuff and manages to run a little bit longer than most people. And when it goes green, he gets himself in position to capitalize.
Absolutely. He didn't quite start up near the front there, so got separated from the lead pack, but took advantage of that caution to really start to make his run toward the front. Looks like he got the 70 in danger of losing another lap here. Dakota is starting to rail him in.
That would be 4 laps down for the 70 if that does come to be. The Ram is fixed up. I don't know if he finally took a fast repair or did get all the damage repaired. Tough start to the season for the 70.
Absolutely. I know he had Daytona circled. That's probably his best statistical track, but just some unlucky breaks there kept him out of being in the running in the end.
Notably missing from tonight's event, we haven't touched on this. Miguel Rodriguez, a no-show in the GLM number 72 Ram. Have to use a provisional.
Absolutely. That's going to be killer for his season run here. He started out very well. We'll have to see. I know that he's got some stuff coming up. We'll have to see what his plans are for the rest of the season. An update on the 41 truck of Kyle Allsbrook. It is confirmed that his steering wheel lost power and it is still cutting in and out. So that'll all but end his day in terms of fighting for this win.
Yeah, it appears he's not even on track as I cut to him and it goes to the scenic view. Looks like he has packed his number 41 truck up and is out for the evening.
Just an unfortunate break there.
Parker pushes up, gives Ogletree a run down the front stretch.
Interesting. Ogletree decides to just push to the 10 down the front stretch rather than jump to the outside. I think he's thinking back to that first run and knowing that that's not quite what he wants to do at this point in the race.
And we mentioned him earlier, Cody Williams having a good run finally. He's up 7 spots working on P4, which would be up 8. We'll take an update on the 18. He's, after having spun by himself, he is nearly half a lap down, working 1 and 2 right now. As Dakota comes to the stripe to complete lap 53.
Just an unfortunate break for our pole sitter. At this point, you have to think he's hoping for a caution to bunch back up the field and give him another shot at least a good finish here.
Yeah, you'd almost have to do something different strategy-wise. Either be clutching now to try and run long and hope for a yellow on the cycle, or think about pitting early and getting on tires early.
Absolutely, and I know that based off of my, I have a different truck that is this week that's giving me a little bit of fuel insight here. Looks like about 38, 39 laps to a run, depending on how much fuel you're using. So at this point in the race, you have to think that it wouldn't be a bad decision if you're already behind to maybe try to make it on one more stop. I expect probably about 2 more stops here without saving. So working 17 laps into the run, so around 77, might be 1 lap or 1 stop for everybody at this point in the race.
Ogletree looks to the inside of Parker as 2 through 5 continue to dice it up under a blanket. Can't get off the corner like he wants to, and Parker's able to clear again. And it actually, Ogletree does shut the door on Williams. It looked like he was going to have an opportunity to get to his outside as well. For these
10 car, one of the toughest cars to pass, no matter what car we race in. He's going to make it hard on you.
For sure. He takes care of his stuff and always has something towards the middle end of the run. Is Ogletree going to lose this spot to Cody Williams, fall back to 5th? This pack about a second up on Aiden Lunn and Jackson Wade. And Aaron Fontaine sends it into the corner underneath the 96. Jackson slowly but surely trying to recover from that earlier spin. As it appears Lewis blinked again as I saw him jump around on the ticker.
And Truck slowly trying to work his way forward here. Oh, as he dives it in. Oh, you have to think he's going to clear it easily.
Oh yeah,
67.
He's long gone.
Looks like the 67 may have let him by. We'll have to check in on that later in the race.
This pack continues to fight, all 1.2 seconds back from Dakota. And a full second up on 6th place as they continue to dice it out. We've had a couple incidents, but it's been pretty clean and pretty quick. We're already over halfway through this race. As Ogletree drives around the outside of Williams, trying to take that spot back. Should be able to get a run down the back. And if not,
clear him to 3.
He does. He does clear him into 3. Lewis again starting to blank. That is going to be a concern. It seems like every time Ogletree gets to him, the 67 starts blinking.
In terms of lap times for our top 2, Stephen Parker closing the gap to Dakota on lap times, only 1/100th of a second slower that lap, so practically identical lap times. With lap times 2, we have the update. Currently, the fastest lap of the race is the 67 of Colin Lewis with a 30.441. So that is those 2 bonus points there that currently he holds. So have to see if anybody else can make a run at that later in this race.
Ogletree just 200ths off of that lap, and Parker just half of a tenth off. So those second, third, and fourth have been fast. They've just got to get to Dakota and do something with it.
Just out of range to really have a chance at using the draft here. About 1.5 seconds separates the 2 first from second. So
as Ogletree works towards the bumper of Parker, you have to wonder if Steven maybe used something up a little bit to get to second as he goes wide on the exit, opening the door for the 27. Ogletree will clear him with ease into one. Jackson.
Yeah, you have to think at this point in the race, they're not really going to fight that hard, just knowing that if the more they fight, the more that Dakota's going to be able to just pull away from this. Now up to a 1.92-second lead.
Yeah. The 96 is real in this group in. He finally cleared the 66. He's sitting in 6th. Still a second back of Williams in the 5th position, but that black and yellow Ram is getting bigger in the mirror of these top 5. Especially as Williams and Lewis go to battle for P4. That should let Jackson reel them in a little bit. But up front, it's still all Dakota Nichols as he continues to stretch his legs. It's up to 2.3 seconds, the lead.
Gotta think at this point he's just in cruise control, just knowing that all he has to do at this point is just manage this gap and make sure he doesn't do anything that causes these tires to scrub off some of that speed that he has. Currently, that last lap, let's see, we'll set an update real quick. Yep, that last lap about a tenth and a half quicker than Jared Ogletree.
I
He leads the 68th lap.
I was wondering, he has led every lap to this point, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes to the green flag cycle should we get there. If he's able to run long and maintain that lead throughout it.
Coming up on some lap traffic. Should be able to navigate it with these so far. Not a little bit spread out, just a couple trucks here and there that he's coming up on, but
yeah, trying to put Richard Moore another lap down. He'll be the next in line. I think that'll put him. Is that going to be 2 laps down? Yeah. Yep. Here he comes to the inside of Richard. Puts the 25 a second lap down.
As we see on the ticker, 67 continuing to lose spots. Started out this run second, now down to 7th.
Definitely use those tires up early on in this run. As we have our first pit stop, it's Justin Sick, who was the last truck on the lead lap. Had to take a wave around when he did this last time.
Absolutely. Maybe with some saving here, he can make it to the end. About 10 laps that he'd have to save if he doesn't go a lap down here. Starting to see a little movement for the 6th position potentially here.
Aaron Fontaine has managed his stuff. He's passed Lewis and Williams in the last couple laps.
Absolutely. Fontaine following way through the field here. He was another one of the losers from that caution. About 5 to 10 laps away from green flag pit stops here if we can get that far.
As the 67 blinks out again right in front of Cody Williams, you know, he'd love to see that.
Absolutely, just not what you want to see.
The start to the season that the 26 has had, he does not want to not know where the truck in front of him is.
Absolutely not.
Jackson Wade is caught up to Stephen Parker. They're nose to tail as they work into turn 1. It's all happening 4 seconds behind Dakota.
Now you see Jared with a 7/8 lead now over Steven. So Jared saving his stuff maybe a little bit better than Steven has in this run. Especially with Jackson Wade able to start to rail in the 10.
Would imagine Jackson. Oh, nope. Good job shutting it off by Steven. I was just getting ready to say Jackson will try and get to this inside off of 4.
Absolutely. Seen some pretty good blocks down the front stretch, trying not to trying not to let guys get to the inside, just knowing how important the inside lane is at this racetrack.
Kind of race is a little like a short track where if you can get to someone's outside and you can shut off their exit, that's beneficial too. But Jackson doing everything he can to get past the 10 as Jason Chrisman now hits pit road from P11 or 10 as Wade finally does clear Parker.
Very close there. All clean so far. You have to wonder if Dakota is looking at the 96, climb the rankings and his relative, and see if he's wondering if he needs to pick it up any at all, just knowing how quickly and how many spots Jackson had to make up this run. We're within 5 laps from everybody probably having to make their green flag pit stops.
Ellis pits from 10th or 11th. Riley Gosling, a lap down, also makes his way to pit road.
Looks like a high step right now. It's 67, I believe, just heard is coming in this time, as well as the 66.
67 slides. Yeah, so it's Lewis, Williams, and Lunn all hit pit road. They were 6th, 7th, 8th.
According to my telemetry, no black flag for that. We've got the top 2 coming to pit road here.
Gosling did get a penalty, but as I said, laps down. Brandon Hare and Kyle Bridges also hit pit road. Looks like Dakota Nichols has hit pit road, giving Jackson Wade the lead. That's he did lead the lap, so Nichols and Ogletree pit from 1st and 2nd. Stephen Parker also pits. So the only 3 that haven't pit are Wade, Fontaine, and Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson, another guy that loves to stretch it out.
Absolutely. I'd look to him for him to stay out for another 2 or 3 laps at least here.
If he can, because here comes Wade and Fontaine. So we'll jump to Jackson. He also brings it to pit road in his 49. If he got it woed down, looks like we're all clear. So now the battle becomes Wade versus Nichols. Nichols exiting pit road now, blending on the backstretch as Wade hits his box. Before tires and fuel for the 96.
Wade appeared to get a really good end lap there. It's going to be close coming off.
They dropped the jack and the 96 is on his way. Nichols to the stripe. So Nichols will clear Wade.
Oh, just not enough there. Nichols just with a really good exit, as he's known to have.
And Wade will lose a spot to Ogletree and Lewis. So Lewis is a lost spot. He was behind Ogletree when the cycle started. Big winner right now is Jason Chrisman, who went from 9th or 10th when the cycle started to P5. Be interesting to see how he can hold on to the tires and if he's got enough fuel to make it the remaining 33 laps.
Absolutely. Looks like he's got about 5 laps on since his pit stop, so very well could make it should be able to make it to the end on fuel, but has to manage those tires to not bleed spots here and the later portions of the race.
So as the cycle completes, we'll reset. It's Nichols ahead of Ogletree, as they were when the cycle started. Lewis is up from his hemorrhaging of positions, back up to 3rd. Jackson Wade, plus multiple spots on the cycle, to 4th. Same thing for Jason Chrisman. Cody Williams about holds serve in 6th. Stephen Parker, I think the big loser, going from about 3rd to 8th on the cycle. Aaron Fontaine in 9th. And Kyle Jackson in 10th.
I believe what I was seeing in my screen, I believe that Stephen Parker had a little bit of trouble getting back onto the track after his pit stop. I believe he got held up by some lap cars that pit the same time he did and were clogging up the exit lane a little bit. I'd look to the 10 and the 50 or the 49 car to kind of work together as they move forward here with them, those teammates kind of being able to get linked up potentially here if they can get around the 13 truck.
Yeah, it felt right watching those two work together at Chicagoland on a different fuel strategy, working through the field and separating themselves as guys like Jackson Wade had to pit late.
Absolutely, I was on that same pit strategy there. Just unfortunately couldn't quite keep up the speed there. Just ran into some issues trying to work up through the pack, but that strategy was really fun to work around the track with those two.
As we are working 30 laps to go in tonight's event, it again has been all Dakota Nichols outside of the pit cycle where Jackson Wade led a lap or two. As he has now ballooned his lead to 4.6 seconds over Ogletree and Colin Lewis, your top three. This is about what we expected with the one tonight, I think, barring some kind of outside factor.
Absolutely. You see, Jared not quite giving up so far. He's kind of maintained that 4.5 second gap just about. So we'll see if he can maybe make a charge toward the front here. That's a very tall task, though. It's very much one thing to get to Dakota when you're on equal tires. It's a completely different thing to pass him, but especially when you're having to use more tire.
Jim Jackson officially the last to hit pit road. He obviously on a different strategy with his situation after lap one wreck. But here, Jackson Wade starting to close the gap on Colin Lewis. As we mentioned, he's got fresher tires. Looks like 2-lap fresher tires.
As this cycle starts to continue into the cycle where we get some tire wear. Looks like Colin Lewis, regarding the fastest lap, will maintain that outside of maybe a late race caution.
Yeah, everyone's still got a set lay-in the event of a yellow.
Must be the race of identical times, however, because currently our top two between Dakota and Jared have identical fastest lap times at 30.461. So we have a trend going tonight. As you see, the lap time starting to fall around 31 seconds now. A couple cars keeping it under 31, but everybody right in that range. Looks like that last lap, Jackson Wade, fastest around the track at 30.782, about 0.2 better than our leader there.
But as we've mentioned, you know that Dakota is just managing the stuff on that Ram.
Absolutely. He knows he's got enough of a lead that unless one of these three cars that are in that group behind him can maybe break away, he doesn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, Dakota just ran a 30.9 to Jackson Wade's 30.9. So Dakota's just going to run a hot lap when he needs to regain that gap, as he's working at about plus 5 seconds on Ogletree. But the 96 is coming. He is closing on Ogletree, working for P2 as he blinks out.
And you know he's hungry after just barely losing Daytona and then the tough break on the fuel strategy last week. He's hungry for a good finish here.
Yeah, he's staring down the barrel of a maximum points night if he can get past this 27, short of, what he can't get with Nichols in the field and winning the stage in the race. But, he finished second in the stage. That's 9, and is looking at another 40 points if he can get past Ogletree for P2. came into the night third in points. This is only going to help his situation.
Absolutely. Looking back further in the field, it looks like I know we talked before about those teammates in the 10 and the 49 trucks. Look like the 49 currently working his way, trying to get past the 13. 13 fighting back, though. He was clear, but not quite able to stay clear.
Wade does clear Ogletree. Now they're within 4.5 seconds, so Dakota really managing his stuff. Gonna let Wade and Ogletree burn their stuff up, trying to catch back up. 20 laps to go in this one.
Dakota just on cruise control here, not worried about anything.
Yeah, Dakota's running about 6 miles an hour slower in the middle of the corner than Jackson is right now. He is just taking care of it.
Absolutely. As you see that last lap, Jackson Wade with a 10th better lap time, or just about. Closed that gap down to 4.2. It was around 4.9 a couple laps ago.
Yeah, and as they work into 4, as Dakota works into 4, it's back up to 4.5. So he is not going to let Jackson get too close. Now, here's something that Dakota doesn't want to see is Dylan Hutchison and Kyle Bridges side by side battling laps down in front of him.
Absolutely not what you want to see because you know they're going to be slower regardless. Whoa.
Oh, we almost had a moment right in front of the leader.
Exactly what Dakota wanted to see, minus the probably needing to change his underwear a little bit there, but you're easily able to get past these lap cars.
Kyle,
You have to think the 95 is not happy about that move.
you know what? I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna say the 46 shouldn't be happy about the move. He's a lap ahead of Hutchison there, but obviously the leader Nichols the least happy of all of them as he's watched that nearly happen and fall right into his lap.
Could have been catastrophic for the leader, but definitely would have made for an interesting story here as we come to 15 to go here.
Yeah, that would have shaken it up. And assuming he could have made it back to pit road and used that fast repair, he'd be no worse than 12th, as he has lapped all the way up to Brandon Hare in P12.
Brandon just trying to keep that lead lap, hoping for a caution here after that early south spin after that after that caution. We went to green.
Solid recovery from Hare to not lose a lap and just maintain that top 15 running position and maintain the lead lap for now. Would imagine Dakota will do what he can to not lap his Premier Series teammate. With a 4.7 second lead, he can play with that a little bit.
Absolutely, he's still a decent ways off of him as we stand right now. So, might not catch him by the end.
Ogletree drove it in deep, got to the bumper away, unable to make anything happen, but erased a 2/10 deficit on the 96th. As we work 13 laps to go. These two battling has allowed Nichols to get back out to nearly a 5-second lead. As it's now their turn to get past Hutchison and eventually Bridges. Dakota is closing on Hare. The question does become, does he let his teammate stay on the lead lap?
I'd imagine that Dakota's not really thinking about that much at all right now. I'd imagine it might be something he thinks about coming to the white, perhaps. But as it stands right now, I think he's just trying to continue to focus on his own race. Just probably isn't something that I would imagine has crossed his mind as of yet.
I mean, he is just on cruise control. While Wade and Ogletree continue to duke it out for P2.
Absolutely, they've been beating and banging more so on the wall than each other, but they've been trying hard to maintain, in Wade's case, and make a charge at it. And for Ogletree,
A great recovery from both of these two. They were the caution that was brought out shortly after the stage ended, as wall contact sent Wade across Ogletree's nose, and they've worked back to where they were when it happened, second and third. Colin Lewis maintaining position in fourth. The early pit stop helped him out. It looks like he's going to be able to maintain. Certainly running better than he was prior to the pit stop. And a shout out to newcomer Jason Chrisman, sorry, as I saw Williams in the background getting a little squirrely. Joined the league about an hour before race time, and here he is running fifth. As I mentioned, a good run tonight for Cody Williams so far when he very desperately needed. And another top 10 run for Aaron Fontaine. Kyle Jackson working on him currently, looking for P7 with 8 to go. Even Parker's fallen off. I don't know if he burned up the tires fighting early, but running 9th. Lower than he's been most of the night. Lower than I think we expect for him.
Absolutely. Looks like he lost some time in 2 positions to the 13 and the 49. Just a tough break.
And a good run again for Kyle Kendall. He's running 10th ahead of Aiden Lunn. Oh, we may have had a pass for second. Yes, they're duking it out behind Kyle Bridges.
Still battling.
Oh, the crossover. Oh. It's getting tight. These two bang doors down the front stretch at Daytona, and now they're banging bumpers into 3 looking for P2.
It's going to be close off the here. Jackson, almost a repeat of the earlier incident.
I wonder if Jackson just ripped the right front off of that Ram. That was a solid hit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll have to see whether or not he falls off the pace here, if he can make another charge at Jared.
No meatball, so if it is damaged, it's not destroyed.
Absolutely. You have to think Jared saw that happening this time and was like, I'm not going to follow you this time, Jackson.
The fender doesn't look too bad on the 96, so there's some hope that that thing's okay.
He's keeping up the gap there and even closing it slightly. So I'd imagine he should be relatively okay.
Yeah, hard to tell if it's camber or damage when you look at the right front of the 96. Inside of 5 to go, it's still all Dakota Nichols. 6 seconds and gaining on this gap to second and third. And as he looks in front, he sees Brandon Hare. I would imagine that 18 doesn't get much bigger in his windshield with just 4 laps to go. These two continue to battle for second. Down the backstretch.
Yeah, despite the field being relatively spread out here, we've got a bunch of battles throughout the field here. I know we've got a battle for 5th, 13 and the 54.
Yep. 13 looking to the inside, trying to make that pass. You know, Fontaine would love another top 5.
Absolutely. He's been on fire to start this season.
Oh, he drives to the bumper of the 54. He's going to have a run down the back. What's he do with it? Does he dive inside or jump outside? Looking in. And the 54 does a
there.
54 does a good job to shut that off. Ellis does a nice job getting out of the way, letting these two duke it out. Ogletree and Wade about the same. Still that 2 to 3/10 gap there. And as we come to the white flag, it is Dakota Nichols who has led almost every lap tonight.
Yeah, I think outside of some pit stops, that's every single lap. So flag to flag, barring some issues here.
Yeah, Jackson led 2 laps. Dakota down the backstretch, looking to lead 112 and take this win. And it's going to be short of him blowing up right now. It's the one truck. Dakota Nichols, his first Truck Series win. And I believe that's his 18th in the PSRA.
Something a lot like that.
What a dominant performance from Nichols. Followed, and it is Ogletree, then Wade. Colin Lewis brings it home 4th. Jason Chrisman 5th. Aaron Fontaine 6th. Kyle Jackson 7th. Cody Williams brings it home 8th. Out of Kyle Parker in 9th. Kyle Kendall in 9th. Stephen Parker brings it home 10th. Aiden Lunn 11th. And Brandon Hare stays on the lead lap and finishes 12th.
I have to wonder if something might have happened to the 18 truck there near the end because he lost a lot of momentum and let the one get close. But yep, able to battle to keep that lead lap. And to some people's surprise, perhaps, the one truck doing donuts.
I would assume it's your first time tuning in if you're surprised by a Nichols smoke show.
I know we've been blessed by that 24 car for the Premier Series being in the wall a little bit in the Premier Series, but this is typically the norm for old Dakota Nichols. As I'm going to try to see if I can pull him in here. Dakota Nichols, are you surprised at all?
You know what?
Hey, congrats on a dominant performance and putting Ram in victory lane for the first time since their return to NASCAR and for the first time in the PSRA. Anything surprise you tonight, or was it more or less what you expected?
Oh, sorry. I was on chase cam mid burnout. What'd you ask?
Congrats on a dominant performance and getting.
No. Thank you for all that. I just didn't hear the question.
Oh, the question: did anything surprise you tonight? Was it more or less what you expected out of the trucks here at Nashville?
Honestly, I give you something surprising. It working through lab traffic there that last run. We've been dealing with it with a B car, but just aero tight, and that's something that I don't really expect out of the trucks, but it was there.
Okay, so you mentioned that. Anything that you can glean from dominating, leading 111 or 112 laps tonight, and take into tomorrow night's O'Reilly Series Premier Series race?
Honestly, same old story. Most cars, most tracks. It's just just keeping the tires under you and playing the long game. I know that last run, and probably I think the run before that, Colin was really really fast on new tires. But I always say you can do that for 10 laps, but can you do it for 100? So.
Yeah, we had made mention of his free fall prior to the last pit stop, and he did a much better job saving his tires this last run and bringing it home 4th. Yeah, so I don't know if it's more or less what we expect. Tires, how much do tires matter? Is it just a matter of heating them up? Like, it looked like you were running pretty consistent laps throughout the run.
Yeah, I think it's. Most concrete tracks have this problem, and this is a mile and a half one or mile and a third. But it's tire heat, and so me running a consistent pace from the moment I come out of the pits to the last lap was just, to fall off a second over 40 laps is just managing your tire heat, not pushing too hard. And honestly, if we were able to ask Colin right now, his tires are probably within 10% of mine, but it's just running as hard as he would overheat the tires. And I do think that's the bigger thing here, especially on these concrete tracks.
Well, unless Cam's got something for you, again, congrats. Thanks for stinking up the show and giving us our worst night of the truck series thus far. And we look forward to racing against you tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. I was able to look out on the relative. I think we might have had something going on for a second, but
Oh yeah, no, yeah. There
We
was
had
there
a
was
hell of a
battles.
battle from the finish.
There was battles throughout. It's just not up front.
yeah, not for the win. My bad on that.
Yeah, congrats again on another dominant performance.
Hey, I'll give you some. I'll answer a question you didn't ask. I know I stunk up the show, but I think a lot of that tonight was last Thursday. Really, really, really got under my skin. It lit a fire under me, and we all know that's the worst thing you can do is put a fire under me. So,
Yeah, just what we needed was you with motivation.
right.
So again, thanks for joining us both at the stage caution and here to celebrate your win. And good luck tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for being in the booth.
Cam, you want to see if we can grab either Jared or Jackson?
Yeah, let me see what I can do here.
Looks like Jackson's in the waiting room, ready for his podium interview. Let's see if you can grab Jared first, real quick, since he brought it home in P2.
Sorry to grab you from your group chat there, Jared, but as a P2 finisher, we wanted to check in with you if you're there.
Yeah, man. You got me.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Congrats on another top 2 finish. We know it's a little difficult when you bring Nichols into the show, but I know you and Jackson had another great battle for P2. Talk about that and your night as a whole.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun racing with him. We were racing real hard and close. A little disappointed with that move into turn 3, but I'm just glad I caught it. To be honest, it was like I was way out of shape, but got it across the line there for P2. Dakota told me a couple weeks back I didn't have to worry about him in this league, so that I might get some wins. But so here we are. Here we sit.
Yeah. So okay, let's talk about just turn 4 as a whole. We saw numerous cars or trucks look like get tight and tag the wall, and I know that's what happened between you and Jackson about 30 something laps in.
And that first caution. Yeah, I was just watching that. I tried to kind of get out of it. By the time it was a little too late. I know I don't know. I don't know how much if he forgave me for that or not. It didn't really seem like it later in the race, but
I mean, I think everyone knew what turn 4 was, especially if you didn't know, you knew pretty early. But I mean, clearly just a racing thing where he chased it up the track and you chased him up the track and you guys met in the middle. So a good recovery from both of you to bounce back from that and finish about where you guys were when it happened.
yeah. It was a lot of fun tonight. So I guess I'm satisfied with how it ended for sure.
The hell of a race for you. I know you were one of the fastest trucks up there. A little update we have here now as I look at the points, it puts you P1 in the point standings. It looks like you were, let's see, where were you last week? I just lost it. Looks like you were P2, but jump up ahead of Steven to jump up into P1. How do you feel being the points leader after week 3?
And that's awesome. Can't say I expected it after I've seen. I mean, we got really good competition in this series. Steven's really fast too, and Fontaine, Lewis, all these guys. So, yeah, it's pretty. I guess I'm pretty confident going into the next race. Then, sitting here,
Yeah.
Lucas Oil. I ran some Lucas Oil in the officials this week, so watch out for me there too. So
There you
there's some
go.
IRP. Right.
There you go. No, yeah, between another top three stage finish and another top three overall finish, bolting you back to P1 in the points, and aided a little bit by Stephen Parker having a down night for him in P10. Um, is there anything you learned tonight that you look to apply tomorrow night in the Premier Series?
Man, honestly, I don't know. I haven't got enough practice in those cars yet. Last week, I guess they were a lot tighter. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll have to get out there and practice first before I already know what to expect.
Well, again, congrats on another great run for you and your Kitties and Beer number 27 Silverados. Unless Cam's got anything else for you, um, thanks for taking the time, and congrats on another good run, and we look forward to racing with you tomorrow night.
Good deal. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Congrats on the run. Thanks for talking to us.
Yep. See y'all tomorrow night.
See ya.
That was P2 Jared Ogletree. Two live broadcasts, two Jared Ogletree interviews, so we got that going for us. If you want to bring in Jackson Wade,
Here comes Jackson Wade. And our P3 finisher, Jackson Wade.
Jackson, good run again tonight. I know it was a little less than you wanted, especially with that earlier caution with Jared, and that followed it up with a good battle with him towards the end. Thoughts on the night as a whole?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, I'm walking out of here basically just even ground with Jared again. Scored the same amount of points as each other. So basically a nullified race. But that is a win. Didn't lose points to the lead, so that's good. Racing with Jared was really good there at the end. I kind of just made a mental mistake looking at the mirror for a little bit too long on the exit of 4. Got the wall, allowed him to get to my outside there, and tried to clear him. Got there, and then got punted into 3 and just couldn't turn the car. Got back into the wall and lost the spot.
Yeah, I know Jared mentioned he didn't know if you forgave him for the earlier contact, and I said it looked like kind of what you expect at Nashville, just trucks getting tight off of 4, and both you guys chasing for the same spot. I don't know if you want to talk us through the caution that you had with Jared early on.
Yeah, so just kind of running it through my head here. I had been racing them hard from the start because I knew how important track position was. I'm going to pinch somebody down on the bottom and make them lift before I can get off the corner, just because I know that that's how I'm going to have to pass people here without burning up my stuff. So that's what I did, and I was going around people. Eventually just got caught out by a tight race car off of turn 4, and it had a snap loose whenever I was trying to keep it off the wall. Never got to tell him that, but it actually was my fault and not his. So I just plow tight and snap loose, getting it off the wall, and couldn't straighten out the truck before having contact with a car that was down there. So that one was on me, I believe. It just, he so happened to be there, or I would have saved it, but nothing he can do about that. So yeah, nothing to be said about there for holding any grudges.
Yeah, that's kind of how we saw it. It looked like, you guys are racing hard, trying to keep air on each other's fenders and bumpers, and he doesn't expect you to catch the wall as you do, and you're in his lap before he can react. So as you mentioned, grid points night, second in the stage, third overall. You led a couple laps. I don't know if you got enough to get that bonus point, but I don't know if there's anything else that you want that caught your attention tonight from the seat, or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I looked at it and I was one lap short of getting that point, but again, nothing I can do about that. I was out of fuel. Um, but I think the track was really racy. Um, you would be really tight on, that group of 4 or 5 that was running behind Dakota. I'm just kind of taking him out of the equation because nobody had anything for him. He was just a tenth or two faster every lap. So taking him out of the equation, you've got a battle for second through sixth, and everybody's fighting really hard there. As I drive back up to the field the second time, I was just trying to take care of my stuff because what got me in trouble the first go round was I drove through the field without taking care of my stuff as good as I should have. Um, so I get back up to them and I'm able to just drive around these guys because, they burnt up their stuff, or when I do get to their outside or inside, it's very multi-groove. So it was a really good race from my cockpit. It was really fun to drive up through the field multiple times and, seeing some unfamiliar faces that, I haven't seen and race around a couple of times was good to do. So yeah, I mean, just overall, I had a really good time. It was a good points day. I don't think we could have asked for anything else, maybe other than second place. Um, but next time we load this truck up, we're gonna have to hopefully go around Dakota if he's out there, or if not, maybe go find a road course win.
It'll be Cam in the truck, back in the truck next week, in the one. So I don't know if you want to talk a little trash to Cam prior to his home race at IRP, or save that for next week. But good night overall for your GLM 96. Made me proud up here.
Well, that's a good thing. Cam, let me know how the IBC globe on the back of my car looks next week. And I appreciate you boys for doing the broadcast. And we'll see you in Indy.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure that that globe meets the outside wall, rally the cage a little bit. But no, it'll be fun to get to race against you guys again next week. I know after that I've got a decent gap before my next race in the one. But it'll be nice to get back out there, get back to the home track. It's been a while since I've had a league race out there at IRP, so that'll be fun. And hell of a race for you tonight. Way to battle back from a couple times that you were way back in the field, and definitely kept us entertained there in the closing laps with Jared.
Well, I appreciate it. Just make sure to keep your right front suspension arm connected to your car this next week. All right.
I'll try my best, dude. Hey, me and that outside wall at Chicago, man, we had something for each other. Like I just couldn't resist. So I don't think I've got any sort of romantic ties to IRP's walls, so I should be okay.
Sounds good.
All right, Jackson. Well, thanks again for the time, and congrats on another podium finish here in the PSRA TrakRacer Truck Series.
Thanks, boys. Hopefully, I'll see P1 soon. Have a good night.
You as well. Nice race.
Well, Cam, it was an eventful night. I thought, just when you have someone dominate, I don't know why we got practice results popping up, but okay. Dakota dominates and stinks up the show, but I think second back, there's racing throughout. So Nashville delivered for the best of the rest. Looking forward to running tomorrow night with you and Dakota and the rest of the boys of the Premier Series.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Just real quick before we go out of here, I'll just go over our bonus point earners, whatever the full award winners. I don't know. So we'll have Brandon Hare got the pole position, so he got 2 points there. Fastest race laps goes to Colin Lewis, so he gets 2 points behind his 30.441 lap time. And then Dakota Nichols stealing some of these bonus points from these truck regulars, leading the most laps and the only driver to lead 3+ laps in the race. Jackson Wade, though, does manage to get himself a bonus point by gaining the most positions with 7. So, really interesting race, though, despite Dakota leading so much of it. Bunch of really good racing throughout, a bunch of good, clean racing for the most part. Um, Looking forward to what goes on next week as we continue toward the chase for the truck series.
Yeah, no doubt. So we stay with two locked in, and currently looking at 8 on points. Next week, the final race before we set the field for the bracket challenge. So that'll be interesting. As people jockey for that 16th position in points to try and make that field. Any final thoughts before we move to tomorrow night, where it'll be you, me, Dakota, Griffin, and the rest of the boys battling for week 3. Hopefully I can actually run a full race and not have internet issues for the second week in a
for
row.
sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you having some internet issues, giving me a free spot. And then, no, I'm looking forward to getting back racing. I know we had Underdog Racing. We were all practicing during that practice session on Sunday, and it should be a fun one. There's a bunch of different ways that you can approach the track. Obviously, not quite so many as you had Chicagoland, but it'll be interesting. I think bunch of off throttle time, bunch of opportunities for mistakes. We'll have to see. I know I plan to do some practice, more practice tonight before I hit the sack, but it'll be interesting. We're gonna have a really good race, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the getting back in the saddle, so to speak. As I didn't have quite the race I wanted to last week either.
Yeah, I'm hoping to turn more than 10 laps. That'd be great. Rough start to the season for myself. Try and right the ship here at a track that I'm not super great at, and kind of just figure it out. So, thanks for joining me in the booth tonight. It was fun as always. Congrats once again to Dakota Nichols on a dominant win, and Jared Ogletree and Jackson Wade for their podium finishes. We're looking forward to tomorrow night, and then back in the booth next Wednesday night at IRP, as you will get back in the seat of the number 1 Tuss Outlaws Ram, trying to live up to Dakota Nichols' win. So good luck with that. Have fun with that.
I'll try my best.
That's all we can ask for. But with that, I am James Jackson. That was Cameron Arndt, and you have been watching the PSRA TrakRacer Truck Series from Nashville Super Speedway. Have a great night.